She's good.
Good. Yeah. Hi. Welcome to She's Good. This is the energy we're bringing today. My name is Julia.
I'm Mary Beth.
I'm Katie.
Please watch us on YouTube. You get like a lot more. A lot more good stuff. A lot more bad stuff too. YouTube is a good place to be. We do film these. All right, guys. Oh man,
Julia coming in hot and aggressive.
No, everything's
Julia
good.
got really frustrated and then immediately started recording.
For those that were not there this before Julia hit record, she was very mad about her green screen.
It's a whole. It's part of a whole slew of issues where I'm like, should I just be home or what's happening? And also, here's the thing, everybody. I dog sit a lot, and that means I need to have a setup that's portable. And well,
Yeah, that's like
it's not working for me.
This one does not fit the Zoom.
Yeah,
screen.
and you know what? It's not these people's fault.
But Julia, it is these people's fault.
Why don't they have a green screen ready for me that takes up the entire wall,
Exactly.
as
don't they
well
just
as
have a green
providing a ring light?
Yeah.
A full
and
green
Mike.
room just for you.
So, real quick, let's just like get into the energy of where we're at right now too, because like I had to run home to. I didn't have to run home. Why? I had to be home. I had to go home to get my mic. So I ran, and that's on me because I wanted to, but also the transportation in New York right now is iffy at best.
Yeah, we're recording this after New York got hit last night with like a ton of like inclement weather because of Hurricane Ida and like flooding, and the subway is like in the water.
Yeah, God, yeah. Things are weird. I can't complain. I'm safe. I'm good. Last night was weird, but I'm safe. Other people got hit worse. But then on the way back, I had this mic with me. I had to make it in time for a trivia game, and the subway wasn't coming for another 17 minutes, and then it was also only going half of the way that I needed it to. So
No.
I biked back. Anyway, Mary Beth, you also did a lot of exercising today.
The energy I'm bringing is I woke up 10 minutes ago.
Well, you
And
texted
it's
us this
because I
morning
took
that
a
you
nap.
did a million different
did.
things.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know what got into me. I woke up at 6:30 a.m., which, as our listeners may know, is usually the time I roughly go to sleep. And I went kayaking. But like first I had to like figure out how to load the kayak onto my car by myself. I did it, but I really scraped my car up pretty good. But you know, it's pretty old, so it just matches the rest of the scrapes. And then I got home and I was like, I'm gonna be sore. I need to stretch. But then I just like fully did yoga, so that's not gonna help because that like it was like more
It makes you
intense
sore?
than it was more intense than I had planned.
Was it yoga with
So I
Adrian?
did like it was. So I did like
Sometimes you
2
don't know if
straight
they're going to be
hours.
hard or not.
Yeah, it was like a morning wake up. I thought it was gonna be like easy, and it was
Right.
not.
I've done one of those before.
Also, she does too much stuff that hurts my wrists, so I can't do
Ooh,
it
yeah.
anymore
Yeah.
really that often. But
Yeah.
and then I did like laundry because I did kayak in Newburgh Lake, which Katie, I don't know if you're familiar with Newburgh Lake, but
No.
it's just the Rouge River.
Oh, okay.
Pretty stinky.
Stinky.
It is, and there was a lot of goose poop in it.
Oh,
But it was like peaceful. It was nice. What else did I do? Oh, I returned some cans and I went grocery shopping. I did like
okay, we're talking about
full
exercise here.
weeks
Katie,
of
anything?
activity.
Of course not. I walked my dog.
Oh, yeah.
That counts.
I stretched my neck because I like messed it up.
That
Ooh,
is
that
huge,
counts
actually.
too.
Yeah.
I love a neck stretch.
Yeah.
We're all athletes
I'm
today.
sorry. Wait, Mary Beth, did you get anything good at the grocery store?
No.
Okay. And then real quick, let's do a check-in on what we're wearing for people who aren't, this is so far from how episodes usually go. If this is the first time you're listening, no, this is something that we do need to do. Everybody check in on what you're wearing. Oh my God.
I'll start because I do look the coolest.
Tribute.
I am wearing Arsenal's third kit from their 2021 to 22 season. The new third kit, Miedema on the back.
It's very jazzy.
It's really cool.
I like it. It's got like, for those that are not watching, it's got like zigzags and they're kind of, are they like speckly?
Yeah,
Like
the
blue and
turquoise
red.
is like speckly.
Turquoise
Yeah.
and red.
Yeah.
Pretty
Google
sweet.
Arsenal third kit, and you're gonna have the
You're gonna
delight
like
of seeing
it.
what's happening here.
If
It
you're
is a
wondering,
weird
like,
Arsenal
concept.
fan now.
If you're wondering like what is a third kit, they have their home kit, their away kit, and then they have a third kit, which is just like a cool like generally
Also,
something kind of weird.
It's their uniform. She's talking about her.
Oh
shirt.
yeah, sorry. Okay,
If
if
you
you
know.
don't know what a kit is by now, you can leave. Oh, Julia.
Julia, I like this for you right now. I like the full boxes background with just a tiny bit of Tokyo.
There, this is good.
This
Trying
one
to
is-
honor the Paralympics and folks who went through a lot to get there. But I guess I'm just gonna have to fully show the background of this family that staying at their house.
Yeah. Well, for those that are not watching on YouTube, I did take a screenshot. I will post.
And
what
for
we're
those who
looking at right
aren't
now.
watching on YouTube,
They've
I don't know
already
how
turned it
else to
off.
say this.
That's what happened.
You gotta watch on YouTube.
For those that aren't watching on YouTube, you're no longer here anymore because you're like, what is happening? Turn it
Oh.
I think people have just given up on us at this point.
Yeah, and I don't blame them. Should we get into sports?
alone.
Wait, I want to hear what you guys are wearing.
Oh shit, that's right.
Oh.
Sorry.
I'm wearing a t-shirt. It's
Let's
got
see.
a hockey on it.
Oh, Adidas, so that's matching. Yes.
It was not because we were recording the podcast today. It's a happy accident. I just was
Oh.
already wearing it.
You guys both have Adidas things on.
I know,
Mhm.
crazy.
Adidas was cool when I was in 6th grade, so it's the brand I stick
Same.
to.
Okay, and
Same.
tell us what PW yeah, same. What's can you say what that is?
It's hockey. PWHPA, is that what it is?
Yeah.
Yes.
I never remember. They really should have chosen an easier name for their association. Professional Women's Hockey Players Association.
Yes.
I think.
I think you're
I
right.
don't
I
know.
think you're right.
Call
I
them and
definitely
ask.
think you're right.
Female hockey at a dog pile. Did dog pile ever? Do you guys remember dog pile?
Only a little.
Did they ever have? Did email exist yet when dog pile existed? I don't know.
I want to
I don't
say
know what
yes.
that is.
Katie, it was a browser, but like from when I was in like 1st grade. It was my favorite because it was called Dog Pile and it had a little dog.
Can you imagine if like that's what became popular instead of Google?
I would have loved
Be
it.
amazing.
Just Dogpile it.
So yeah, like if we were looking, if it would have been, it was like my earliest computer lab memory. So if that was like, it would be early elementary school. So like mid or early to mid 90s would have been the era of Dogpile. I would say just around the time or just before AskJeeves.com.
Where did like kid pics fall into this?
Right at
Good
that
question.
time.
Okay.
That would have been the Kid Pics era.
I miss kid pics.
Me too. I have such fond memories of it.
Yeah.
Me
I
too,
also
it was
like
so
used
cool.
to. Do you guys play that Arthur computer game that literally everybody
No.
had? Oh,
No, but I
well,
had like
yeah.
Putt Putt, the like purple car, and like Freddy the Fish.
Oh, it is.
Spy
I don't know
Fox?
those either.
The Arthur
No?
one was cool
Okay.
because there was a paper airplane hidden in every different scene, and you had to find it by clicking on things. And as an 8-year-old, I was riveted.
Oh.
Yeah.
And by everyone had it, I mean I didn't even have it, but like my cousin did,
One cousin did, and that's everything.
and maybe at school.
Oh.
Anyway, yes. Shall we talk about sports?
Let's talk about sports.
Yeah. Do you guys
Oh.
want to know what I'm wearing though?
Oh yeah.
Sure do.
I would have let you go, but this is Magnet Theater FC. This is my Wednesday night
Oh,
soccer.
That's your team.
Cute.
I like
Yeah,
it.
Brooklyn Bridge Park Conservancy, and I did choose the color for last season because I was the first one to show up at the first game.
Is that the one?
Nice.
Is that the shirt for last season?
Yeah,
So you chose that shade of, is it orange or yellow? I can't
yeah,
tell.
it's real Netherlands orange.
Oh, it's bright orange.
Yeah,
Very
Okay.
nice.
Okay, okay.
thank you.
Now that everyone has really good exposition about where we're at, what we're looking like, shall we?
Let's do
Yes,
it.
let's talk about sports.
Woo!
They're happening.
They are. They are.
We have been watching. I was telling you this. I've been watching like a real random assortment since the Olympics ended. I feel like the Olympics broke me a little bit, and now I just like watch whatever I find first.
Did it break you or did it blossom you?
Maybe a little bit of both. Maybe I
Okay.
just like am like, oh,
You're like a
here's
phoenix rising from
something
the
that I
ashes.
don't know what's happening. Here's something I don't understand, but
Oh my gosh, I gotta talk about my dream later.
Oh yeah, you should, because that was a good dream. We'll start with soccer and you just open with
Okay.
that because that's a good one.
Yeah, I love that.
Okay. So I had a dream like last week, I think it was. And it was, I never remember my dreams. I rarely remember my dreams. But this dream was about KC NWSL, the Kansas City NWSL team, who at this point is like, has not branded yet and doesn't have a name. They're just like existing as KC NWSL.
And unfortunately, last in the league. Blah, blah, blah.
Yeah. I had a dream that they rebranded as like KC Phoenix, Kansas City Phoenix. Isn't that what I said?
Yeah.
I texted you guys. Yeah. Kansas City Phoenix, because they are rising from the ashes of the Utah Royals. And their Phoenix
Magical.
in their like logo was the blue color of their blue socks. It was
do love
really
the blue
cool.
socks.
Whoa.
I just remember like thinking like, but the Phoenix is blue. The Phoenix is blue. Like as I was like asleep.
Asleep,
So-
yeah.
The
You
Phoenix
had,
is
you had
blue.
some
The
people to
Phoenix
reach
is
out to on
blue.
this.
Yeah.
I'm putting it out there.
I'm sure they're listening. They're
Yeah,
taking
of
No,
notes.
course.
you're right. No, you're
Yeah.
right.
They're taking notes.
This is cool though. So and because this is like full, fully realized and thought out thing that you've done. I want to poke holes in it. Wait, are they gonna stay in Kansas City?
I think so.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay, cool.
So when they like, what happened was Utah was folding,
Right.
and there was an ownership group that was interested in being an expansion team in Kansas City. And basically what they did was they just like purchased that group instead.
They said, "Come
But
to
they
me."
also had come from Kansas City, like before they were
Right.
here.
Yeah, that's true.
So they
That's
just went.
true.
They went back.
So it all made sense.
But it's not the same group
Right.
that initially owned them in Kansas
Right.
City.
It's just like the same
Fans,
franchise
though?
Yes.
bouncing around.
Same fans, baby.
Yes.
Yes.
For,
Okay, this
for
is
those
making
that don't
sense.
know, there was a bit of a Utah scandal, which is not unheard of in the NWSL right now. There's been lots of scandal, but yeah, that's why Kansas City became Kansas City. Was the ownership group was problematic, and Utah. The owner of Utah, I don't remember his name. I remember it was like something stupid, Del something.
Oh,
Del Loy
yeah.
Hansen.
Del Loy, was that it?
Yeah, Del Loy, I think.
You should
Del Loy
have
Hansen.
known from the beginning he would be a problem.
Mm-hmm.
Del Loy.
Yeah.
I say being named Mary Beth, another two named.
Yeah, yeah.
But at least they're like names.
Exactly.
Dude, you're getting a Del Loy
Uh,
Hansen.
Oh,
Del Loy.
remember?
Remember? But speaking of scandals, I do want to talk about some bad stuff that's going on within the NWSL right now.
Yeah,
Let's
things
hear it.
have gone down since we recorded last. Like, things just keep happening.
Yeah. The first thing being that the Washington Spirit announced that Richie Burke was their head coach, was stepping down for like medical reasons. And then like a day later, there was an article in the Washington Post by, I wrote her name down, Molly Hensley Clancy. She's really good. You should follow her on Twitter.
Okay.
But basically she outlined all these allegations of abuse against him, racist, like emotional abuse. And a player that used to play for Washington Spirit, Kaya McCullough, went on the record. And there was a lot of other people who were like anonymous, but she went on the record and like talked about the situation there, and then they ended up like firing him or like placing him on leave pending investigation or something. But yeah, that happened.
It was really like, which isn't unusual with the NWSL. I think they're starting to learn now that more and more things happen that they should not try to cover things up, but they
Totally.
really just keep trying to cover things up. And like
Totally.
a day later, everyone finds out like the
Yeah.
real story and then get mad at the NWSL.
Yeah.
And why aren't they just like, Like they need someone new in there in PR or something. That it's a real disaster constantly.
It is.
Just in the
just,
league, like.
Yeah, the league offices. But this seemed specifically about like the Washington Spirit leadership.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. And it was just the stuff that was outlined in the article was just so like, why? Like, why? And the thing is that Richie Burke, he was hired with like, they knew he had a history of this behavior.
Yeah.
He like coached like youth level or something and had a history of this behavior, and he was hired anyway. And then and basically what this player Kaya McCullough said was that like she doesn't play soccer anymore because of her experience there.
Yeah.
Like it made her not want to play anymore.
Yeah.
That's so fucked up.
Yeah.
And there's like more stuff too, like with the Washington Spirit. Like it just keeps getting worse and worse.
So basically their owner, one of their owners, Steve Baldwin is his name, he was like aware of these allegations against Burke and hired him anyway. I guess he like Burke. Why do I keep saying Birch? He's not a tree. He coached. Do
you know why? And it's because right before we started this, we were talking about Simon Birch.
Oh my God.
Whoa. Weird.
And now it's in your head.
That's so true. Simon Birch did it. No, you're
I'm sure
right.
our listeners
That's
are
why.
pissed they missed that conversation.
That's why. Gosh. But the Steve Baldwin guy, I guess Richie Burke coached his daughter at some point, and like that's kind of why he hired him. And then tried to cover it up by saying like they were moving him to like a front office position because he was like unwell or something. I don't know.
Yeah,
whatever.
which is so weird. So when you use a cover up like that, there were a lot of like stories that came or not stories, but like reporting on it being like this is not good. Like I hope everything's okay. Like we'll stay tuned and like sending all our like best wishes to him. And it's like now we're like feeling bad for this guy who it comes out as like abusive and like bad.
Which I'm sure that was their intention, was to try to pretend like to try to soften the blow, and pretend like there's something wrong with him health-wise and like try to get sympathy. But like we quickly figured out that was not the case.
Wait, were they just not gonna say anything though? They were gonna be like, oh,
I think they were just gonna hope it worked.
Yeah.
It seemed. Otherwise, why would you do that?
But were they trying to keep him on actually?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh my God, that's so annoying. Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, and here's the like other layer of this. Like within the last year, this woman named Michelle Kang purchased a stake in the Washington Spirit, an equal share of it with the Steve Baldwin, 35%. And I guess it seems like they thought she would just kind of be like a silent, like sort of person, and it was good for them to have a woman like in their ownership group. But apparently she like after a game in Houston had conversations with the players, and once she talked to the players she kind of realized like, oh, stuff's going on here that probably shouldn't be going on, and she wanted to purchase Steve Baldwin's share in the Washington Spirit to get him out of the ownership group, and he agreed to it, and then apparently like 2 days later he said, no, I don't want to sell my stake anymore.
It very
so there's
much
like
seems like he's
internal
like
struggle
digging in
going
his heels
on
now. Like he's like, now it looks like I'm like giving in because I'm a bad guy or something like that. Which it should be the case, but he like
Look,
now
for anyone who's been accused of shit and you start digging in your heels so it looks like you're not owning up to it, you look like you look worse.
Bad. Yeah. So there's this like ongoing like struggle within the ownership group, which is just interesting. And on top of that, at a recent game, the Washington Spirit supporters group had a sign that said like sell the team, Steve.
Yeah.
And Steve Baldwin. They used the full name.
Yeah. And then security came and told them they had to put the sign down at a request of the ownership. Requested.
Oh,
and
Steve was like,
then,
can you tell them to take it down?
But what was like a really like minor like little protest turned into like something much bigger because he like
Yeah.
didn't just let
Yeah.
it go.
The whole stadium started chanting it, didn't they?
Yeah, they did.
So like quickly everyone, it wasn't even a big sign. Like you probably
No.
not a lot
No
of
one
people
would
would have
even
noticed
know.
Black
it.
letters on a white sheet, like yeah.
Oh God.
What a joy.
Yeah,
So-
seriously.
Sorry,
There's
Steve.
just a lot going on for Washington Spirit, and I really do feel bad for the players because, like, can you imagine trying to perform in conditions
Yeah.
like that?
Yeah.
That's
And
the
this is-
thing, and it's similar to like Kelly Loeffler and the Atlanta Dream. Like all of these owners are like very different, have very different like priorities than the players, and like different. I don't know. Don't want to say all, not all the owners, especially now. Like more people are like that have the players' interests at heart, are buying teams and starting teams. But like it just seems like everyone has very different priorities and views on the world, and then like you get caught in like this awkward, especially in the NWSL, where you get caught in this like weird spot where like it looks like the league is standing for something that like every single player does not stand for, like that kind of situation. And it gets weird. But
Yeah.
I don't know. Sorry, Julia, what were you gonna say?
No, I think that's an awesome point. It's sort of similar, like, it just sucks that, like, you know, you wanna support this professional league that's like now in its like sixth, is it way more than that? Sixth year or something?
I think it's eighth or ninth.
In any case, it's been around long enough, like when so many leagues before it have like folded and you really want it to succeed and stuff. And now like it makes me think like maybe players are like, it sucks when there just isn't a lot of like power that the players have. And it makes me hopeful that like now players are feeling more empowered and there are more people behind them and more fans that are supporting them and more, you know, people in power that are going to be able to like support them, where like this league can both like thrive and continue on for, you know, indefinitely, and also protect and support its players, and
Yeah.
particularly the players like that haven't been in the past.
And I think that they're failing on that front, like massively. The NWSL is failing its players.
Just thing after thing. Yeah.
Yeah, like they have not protected players from racism, players from transphobia. Like they're not doing enough, and they're not transparent enough. Like as a fan, there's not enough transparency around their investigations or like anything like that, and there needs to be.
Yeah, people
Like-
like keep getting fired and then you never find out
Right.
why.
And how are we supposed to, like, if you're not honest about what's happening, it's just going to keep happening. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
People aren't going to want to
abuse
support a
thrives
team.
in exactly, but like abuse and like racism, that all thrives in like the darkness of and not being brought to light. Like
Yeah.
if the NWSL keeps like not being honest about these things, it's just going to keep happening. And as a fan, I can't, you can only support the players so much. And when in the end, you're still supporting the league, you know what I mean? Like it's going to get to a point where they're not going to have my support. And I mean,
Yeah.
look what happened in Louisville too. They just announced yesterday that they fired their head coach for like with cause, meaning
But
like he
didn't
did
say
something
why.
wrong, but
Yeah.
they didn't say what happened.
And you
it's
know it's got to be bad too, because every other team has been like, "Oh, he stepped down," or "Oh, he's sick."
Yeah.
Like they don't want to tell you, but they're like, "Listen, we fired him for a reason, but we don't know the reason." So
right.
like, who knows what he
And-
did?
And the league, the way it operates now, the players don't have a choice in what team they play for.
Yeah.
Like, maybe that's why Tobin Heath and Kristen Press didn't want to play in Louisville. Maybe it was about that coach because
Right.
he's coached in the NWSL before.
Yeah. And for reference, this is Christy Holly.
Yeah.
And so we did an episode, I don't know what number, but we did an episode on there when they were first, like it was very exciting. Like Racing Louisville was part of one of the most recent expansion expansion teams or whatever. And, people were excited about him in the team and, a new NWSL team. And it sucks to now like be like, well, what do we do here?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he got fired, and then Richie Burke got fired, and then Fareed Ben-Stidi resigned, but he got fired.
And that
I'm
is
sure.
OL Reign's coach.
That's OL Reign
that
but
we've
they
talked
have
about
Laura
before
Harvey
is that
now,
a
and
problematic
they're
past.
thriving, I feel.
Yes.
Yeah, they're doing well. And then Gotham's coach didn't get fired, but she's moving. So they've got a coach shake up in the middle of the season. Were there any others? I don't remember.
I think so. That might be it.
That might be it. I mean, and that's sort of an interesting one too. So that's Freya Coombe. She was the head coach of Gotham FC and like well liked, and everyone was Gotham was doing great, and then she got hired as the Angel City head coach, which is like awesome for Angel City. I'm happy that they're gonna have like a good coach and whatnot, and just exciting things are happening over in LA. But it sucked for Gotham, and then also is a little weird because like originally she got hired for this position, and then she was gonna like stay coaching Gotham for the rest of the season, and then Yael Averbuck, the general manager of Gotham, like the day after was like, actually, that doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
She's,
well, I think what happened was like a lot of people, like the supporters group specifically, Gotham's supporters group was like, it's a conflict of interest if she stays with the team, if she could take some of our players in an expansion draft.
Yeah, exactly.
So for those that don't know, Angel City does not exist in the league as a playing team, right? Their first season is 2022. And San Diego will have a team as well. So like it's a brand new team. They're not playing yet, so she wouldn't have to be coaching them now. Yeah. But she's obviously like strategizing. They're starting to get players. They just took Kristen Press. I'm sure she's working on it. Also, I remembered there was another team, and it was Orlando Pride. Their coach took a job overseas, and they gave him the boot right away too. And I think
he
Becky
left
Burley
because
is their coach.
their season's already starting, so he had to leave. But
they were going to let him go a couple, and the players were like, "Nah, gotta go."
I will say though, the like LA taking Freya Coombe really kind of pissed me off, because do you remember a couple months ago there was like word that they were considering having an assistant coach of North Carolina coach their team? And like it blew up. Their fans were furious that they would potentially pick a male coach, which I understand. Like I understand that because Angel City has like painted themselves as like pro women, progressive, blah 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 group. So I understand why the supporters were angry. But like, so you're gonna go steal Gotham's coach? Like, fuck off. And I say this as Gotham is my team, so fuck off, LA.
But but here's the thing though. She applied for it.
Yeah, she probably was planning to go. You guys are just mad because you like Gotham.
I am mad. I am mad because I like Gotham. I'm mad that Freya left, and I'm mad that they didn't put up a stink about this too. And I'm sure every other Gotham fan is going to agree. That's why they're like, peace, girl.
But you got some good coaches coming in, and
it's going to
it'll be fine.
Yeah,
but now we do have, there's 4. Well, starting next season, there will be 4 head coaches that are women, right? Laura Harvey, Becky Burley, Casey Stoney, and Freya Coombe, right?
Wow.
Yeah, is that it? Yeah.
I think.
Well,
so 4 of 12.
Mark Parsons is leaving Portland at the end of the season to coach the Netherlands.
Do we know who's
we don't know who's going to replace him.
Interessante.
I forgot about that.
Okay, maybe I'll apply.
You got this, Julia. You got this.
Well, we did see on Twitter, I think, that there are more players that have been sort of inspired by, maybe like retired players more than anything, and current players who are inspired by this and getting coaching licenses. And maybe there's like some sort of, I thought there was like some sort of maybe the league was sponsoring free like D-license coaching, whatever it is, like get like prepping players to be in a position where they can like be coaches after.
I think they should follow like the WNBA. What they have is if a team has a former player on their coaching staff, the cost of their like salary does not go to their like salary cap.
Whoa, okay.
So like they could have, you know, it doesn't, I don't know, it's just a way to encourage the teams to like develop former players as coaches.
Yeah. Oh, that is cool. And I know we had that, I'm going to forget her name, but she was a player turned assistant coach for Seattle, maybe? Does that sound?
Steph Cox? Is it
yeah,
Steph Cox?
I think so. Yeah. Is that her? Wait, there was somebody, and I feel like maybe she then.
In the WNBA?
She went back to playing.
Yeah.
And then,
Oh,
are you talking
no.
about the NWSL? Because I was
I'm talking about the WNBA.
Oh,
I'm
she
gonna.
played-
Noelle
yeah, and
Quinn.
she
Noelle Quinn. Yep. Thank you. So sorry.
Sorry, I was thinking NWSL.
Nope. That was my bad. But yes. Yeah. Yeah.
And I
all I
mean,
wanted
like-
to say was that was cool. And
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
Simone Augustus is an assistant coach in LA. Rebecca Brunson and Katie Smith are assistant coaches in Minnesota. Jackie Lamelos is an assistant coach at New York Liberty. So there's a lot of former players within the coaching system of the WNBA. So
Yeah.
I don't know. That could be something. I don't know. But yeah, I really think that I feel like the NWSL is at a real crossroads here, and they have a lot of choices to make, and they need to be, and transparency needs to be like number one.
Yeah.
And protecting the players. And there's so much that goes into this conversation, including like the quality of the refereeing, which has been really lacking for especially like the beginning half of the season. But like this year, the NWSL Players Association is negotiating a collective bargaining agreement with the NWSL. So really I think how the NWSL as a league handles the negotiations, whether or not they, you know, I don't know how they treat their players in the negotiations and what sort of contract they're able to negotiate is really going to dictate how much I want to support this league.
Yeah.
You know, if they don't give the players what they deserve, then I'm sorry, but you don't have a sustainable business model. You don't.
Yeah. And as we can see, you've already become an Arsenal fan, so you're ready to be.
And huge news on the Arsenal front. Tobin Heath is going to play for Arsenal next season.
Is it confirmed yet? I know it's rumored, but usually when it's rumored, like
I saw an article.
True.
Yes, that's all. Yeah. Oh,
Saw
if
Meg
it's coming
Linehan,
from Meg,
so- Look, I trust Meg.
yeah. Usually when it's rumored, it ends up being true, but like in a couple of days.
Yeah.
But I don't remember.
It was in The Athletic. I trust The Athletic.
I trust
I
the
do, too.
Athletic with my entire life, actually.
Oh, I bet
My
they
whole
appreciate
Whole
that.
life. And you know what? If I was dying, they would be the first ones I would call.
Oh yeah.
Just the
Of
Athletic
course.
front desk.
The Athletic front desk. Yeah.
Hi, I just
Hey,
wanted
it's
you to
me,
know I'm
Julia.
dying and I trust you to fix it.
Yeah, please. You're the only one I would ever think to call.
You, the Athletic.
They'd be like, you have reached the phone number of Meg Linehan. The only person I really know at The Athletic. Actually, you know what's so cool? Let's just shout out real quick. All the writers at The Athletic. Really, there's only like mainly two that I know. One of them being someone that went to school with Andy Reid. Shout out Andy Reid. Chantel Jennings. And also Meg Linehan. You guys provide us with that WNBA and the NWSL news that we need. Well, really, all soccer and all basketball.
It
Anyway,
is helpful.
so I
Thank
will be
you.
calling them.
Thank you to them. And we look forward to you saving our lives when it is our time to die.
Yeah.
True.
It might be soon. You never know.
It could be with me.
We might get apocalypse.
So just keep your phones with you.
Yeah, at all times.
We'll page you.
The only other thing I'll say on the Arsenal front is I do hope that means that they'll continue thriving. I hope it means that Miedema stays so that Katie's and my brother Ben's jerseys don't go obsolete. And let's always root for Arsenal, I say.
Yeah.
I'll be a gunner.
One other overseas to this underseas news is that Abby Dahlkemper is now obviously she's been back from the UK, but North Carolina basically was like, we don't want you. And traded her to now Houston Dash. Interesting. So one thing I wonder, like, what is she like as a person? Because also, like,
we do know she's an olive oil heiress.
Yeah, we do know she's an olive oil heiress. We do know that she posted like a picture with the American flag, like during a time when it like represented something that like we weren't for. And like, oh, I do have her jersey and I'll stand by that. No, she's great. Honestly, she is great. But I'm like, did the Olympics ruin her? What's like going on?
I think that she seems okay. She maybe did not play well in the Olympics, but it was a very brief period of time. So hopefully she's still fine. And she wasn't playing. Was she playing with a league, like a club team then? So she probably was a little rusty. She now is playing in Texas. Who knows if she'll stay there, because there's been some mixed messages about if she was actually traded or loaned.
Except for at the NWSL, loans are not allowed in the league.
So it seems traded, and there's just been some confusion. But I think that she'll be back to what you wish of her.
Yeah. I think so
did
too.
You guys also see that the league fined Angel City for announcing the Kristen Press trade like before they were supposed to or whatever?
I did see they got.
LOL. Really?
Stupid. It's like, maybe focus on some more important things.
Maybe find someone that did something terrible.
Because there's more.
Because there's plenty.
Oh my God. Yeah, you're right. This league is nobody should support the NWSL. Let's quit the podcast.
But I still
I don't know if I go that far yet. But I'm not gonna
quit the NWSL when the team I root for is on the rise.
Exactly.
I'm winning. OL Reign.
Oh, they're my number 2.
I've got a jersey.
I was thinking Chicago.
They're my 2.
True.
I did want to mention a cool thing. OL Reign and the Portland Thorns played each other at Lumen Field in Seattle, which is where the Seattle Sounders MLS team plays. And they broke the NWSL attendance record. They had 27,248 fans for that game, and OL Reign won, and they did it in pretty like entertaining fashion.
It was pretty good. Yeah. Did you see though, with that attendance record, some salty Thorns fan edited the Wikipedia page and made like a whole different category to specify that it was a double header and like put an asterisk next to it as though it didn't count that they had broke the attendance record because they wanted the Thorns to continue to hold the attendance record.
God.
People ask why the Thorns fan. I know exactly. People ask why the Thorns and the Thorns fans suck. Like this is why.
I just thought it was funny. I don't even know anything about like the Thorns to like.
Yeah, me either. And I don't wanna.
Julia's like, I'm done.
No, it feels good to have like a team that you don't like. You know what I mean?
That's your one.
Angel City. No, I could never root against Kristen Press. No, because I could never root against Kristen Press.
And I love what their whole like message and vibe, and like it feels good that
I love their vibe. I know. It is irritating.
It is irritating
that I
stand for what you want to stand for.
Yeah.
Oh, it's irritating that they're now a model for the league that we're talking about that we want.
Yeah.
I mean,
find them more actually.
I did want to add one thing, which is about soccer, but not about soccer. So a couple of weeks ago, Crystal Dunn posted on her Instagram story a photo of like a book she was reading, and she tagged Becky Sauerbrunn among a couple other people. And I was like, oh, Crystal and Becky, a book. I'll read it. And so it turns out this book is like fantasy, and it's one of 7 books in a series, and I'm on book 5. So
They're influencers.
they're influencers. I would just like to talk to Becky's like agent or manager or whoever like handles her like endorsement and get them to get her some sort of like sci-fi book endorsement. She'd be a great ambassador.
She should be.
Bloomsbury,
She should
Penguin.
be a literary influencer. What was the book called?
Or she should partner with Goodreads.
she should partner with Goodreads.
She
She
should.
should partner with Goodreads.
It's
Or
the
every
it's
local
the
library.
Throne of Glass series.
Throne of Glass. Is it good?
You're
It's
thinking of Game
entertaining,
of
yeah.
Thrones, I think.
And
No,
is
because
it like Game of Thrones? Because I'm not a fan of that.
there's
that-
definitely some like people trying to get their
genre.
throne back,
I
but
see.
it's not as like
When I say I'm not a
soul
fan, I
crushing
mean
and demoralizing as Game of Thrones.
I've not watched a single episode, so I can't say for certain that I'm not a fan. But
Well,
I
you
just
know
have
if
an
you would be.
inkling. It's
Yeah.
just not a genre that I enjoy. So like I don't even care
That's
to watch.
fine. That's fine.
But anyway, I support fantasy books.
I mean, would I have read this 7-book series if Crystal did not post it and tag Becky Sauerbrunn in it? Of course not. But she did, and then therefore I did.
And it
Where I
worked.
am. So
Give them
therefore I
money
am.
for that.
and now I just want to be in a book club with them. If we could just kind of make that happen. That's all I
Honestly-
wanted. That's all I
honestly,
got.
call up the
I'll send
Athletic.
them a memo. Yeah, the Athletic
right.
will set it up
Send them
for you.
a memo. Send them a
Maglin,
memo.
An interoffice memo. Oh,
Man, God, yeah. Also, props to you, Katie, for reading that many books at all, ever.
In my life.
Yeah.
Can I tell you guys?
Yeah.
Oh, did you have more?
No,
say.
I was gonna switch.
I was going to say, can I tell you guys about a new sport?
Yes.
Please. Yes.
I've been
okay.
waiting for this, actually.
I've watched a couple, but this is specifically the Paralympics are going on right now.
Yes.
I do love a Paralympic because you like if you're not watching them, like just take a moment. Julia's got her background when she elevates her green screen.
And I'll just have to hold it there, I think.
Yeah, take a moment to either watch. It's in the middle of the night again. It's on TV, but on some channels you may not have. It's a lot of like NBC Sports Network or Olympic Channel, but you can watch the replays online in the same Olympics website that they had for the regular Olympics. I think it's NBCOlympics.com. Take a minute just to watch some of these sports because they are insane, like what these people are doing. So the one that I'm currently obsessed with, it's been much of my Paralympics focus, is called goalball. Are you guys, do either of you know what it is? Do you
No,
have
I've
any
been
guess
waiting for
at
you
what
to
it
tell
could be?
Yeah.
Is it just like you score goals? It's like soccer.
Sure. It's on an indoor court, smaller than a basketball court, but on either end is a goal the entire width of the court. It's probably like half the width of a basketball court, but like maybe like 3/4 the length. So it's like a long rectangle, and there's 6 players per team, but 3 play at either time. And they have to throw the ball into the goal and score on the other team, but every player is blind.
What?
Yeah. And they are so good at it. It's so wild.
What?
So the ball has bells in it and it's completely sound. So everyone has some sort of visual impairment or blindness, but to different degrees. So they have to tape their eyes closed and then wear goggles that completely block out light. So they cannot see a thing.
What?
The markings on the ground are raised, so they have to feel where they are, and they like feel the goal and the ground to like know where they are, and they block the ball by hearing it coming, and they just like whip it down, and they know. And sometimes it's bouncing and it doesn't jingle when it's in the air, when it's like not hitting the ground. So they just have to know like from where the bounce was, where it's gonna be. And so the game I was watching a replay today. It was the semifinal to decide who goes into the gold medal match and the bronze medal match. And it was USA versus Brazil. And I did watch both. I watched both men's and women's goalball, but this is the women's teams that I'm talking about now. And so there's two halves. They're 12-minute halves, and I said 3 players per side, right? And then the U.S. was down 2-0 in the first half. Second half came in. I don't remember how. It was maybe like 5 minutes left. They scored, and then scored with 15 seconds left. You know I love when this happens last minute. So they tied the game with 15 seconds left. Go into overtime, and they're like sudden death overtime, I think, like golden goal overtimes they call them. There's 2 and they're 3 minutes long, and no one scored. So we went into penalties. I love when we go into penalties.
Is there like a goalie?
So they're all goalies in like the regular and overtime. Like they play defense and offense. So like when one team throws it, the other whole team has to block it, and then they throw it back, etc. And it's like fully just diving on the ground. So like really, I was watching it and I was like, how are they getting up so quickly at this point? Like they're throwing their bodies to the ground and then just like popping back up. But yeah, so into the extra throws, it's called. All 6 players throw an extra throw. So it's not just who was playing at that time, like in soccer.
Mm-hmm.
So all 6 players play, but the other team, like the teams don't know what order each team has chosen. So then it's 1-on-1. So like they each go one at a time. Like whoever was chosen first goes versus the other player that was chosen first. And one team throws and the other team has to defend, and then they do opposite and the other team. So like you don't know, like there's got to be like, you know, they would strategize if they knew who would be like who's going to score on, but they don't know who's going. So it's just like yeah, so it's one person having to save this like across the entire length of the goal, which is much harder. And the US did win. They are going to the gold medal match. It's at like 4:45 a.m. Tonight, but I will probably just DVR it.
Like what happened with the extra throws?
So it was Amanda Dennis, was the star of the team, I gather, of the American team. She was the first one to block one of Brazil's, and then she scored hers, and then it ended up, I think it was 3-2 before it got to the point where Brazil like couldn't win at that point, and they stopped them. But it was truly wild. And also throughout the game, like there were so many like off the post or off the crossbar shots like that the US just was not getting in. So when they finally like started scoring at the end, it was extra drama and exciting.
Yeah,
I did love it. You can go watch the replay if you guys want to watch it to prepare. Yeah, it was kind of tricky to find, but go to the NBC Olympics website and like go to, I think I went to the schedule and then was able to find, it was like at 4:45 a.m. this morning. You can find it and then it'll let you watch it. So
cool.
It's truly wild. I'm obsessed with it. I want to play, but also never want to tape my eyes shut. That seems like a real nightmare for me. So.
Oh my God, it sounds like the hardest thing anyone has ever done.
Oh, it's so wild.
I'd be afraid to just get hit in the face.
Me too.
It's because it seems like it's like kind of like at first I thought it was like a 4-square ball, but it seems thicker than that. And they like really whip them. I don't know the rules behind like, you're not allowed to just like throw it like over. I don't think you can throw it overhand. Like it has to bounce off the floor, I think.
Oh, okay. All right. Got it.
But they like whip them. Some of them were like Brazil kept throwing it backwards and between their legs, which is apparently something only Brazil does, according to the commentators.
Wow.
But yeah, there were like different throws. I do want to look more into the rules because it was just me trying to figure it out by watching. But everybody,
you know,
by the time this comes out, it'll be over. But everyone go back and watch goalball because it is bonkers. And like, respect to every single Paralympian that is like playing these sports that no way we would be able to like block a ball just by sound alone.
Yeah.
Like no way
Yeah.
we would be good at that. So
Yeah. As you were describing this, I was just like assuming that everyone was also sitting down the whole time because I watched volleyball and they were sitting down.
oh yeah, no, they stand and
So now that you said
walk
they stand, I was
around,
like,
and
oh,
they,
okay,
like,
that does make sense.
and they
That
also
makes
will like have them like pass the ball to each other, and they do it just by they know where they are by the sounds of the voice. Like it's all sound. They're not allowed to touch their masks. They have to have like full mask inspections. Like there's not allowed to be a single like you can't see anything.
Wow.
Wow.
Oh my gosh. Wait,
It's
do they
wild.
like do they run into each other or they pretty much are like
No, they're
seeing what-
good. They're professional athletes, so they don't do
No, I know. Oh god.
it. No, but just watch, just go.
But
like,
I
you
just
have
imagine
to
them
watch
moving
it.
so fast.
Yeah,
but
well,
it's
it's
not-
mainly they're like they have positions, so I think they're probably
Oh.
staying like where, but they do
Oh,
like
that makes
pass-
sense.
They pass
Okay,
each
okay.
other quite often, but they just can hear each other. They also like will like slap the court to cause distractions to the other team.
That's
It's
what I was
real
wondering
wild.
too. If they okay.
Yeah. Anyway,
So
big
cool.
fan of goalball.
Oh,
I
that's
hope
so
to
cool.
watch more in the future.
Oh, that's amazing.
I'm like really excited to stop talking to you guys so I can go
So
watch
you can go
football.
watch goalball.
Yeah, seriously.
Silly name.
Should we
They,
end it?
they should workshop the name. I mean, that's exactly
No, I think
what
it's perfect.
that's exactly what it is. Is it's just a goal and a ball. But yeah, I discovered it in the middle of the night one day. I'm the first one to watch goalball. Just kidding. I did not discover. I did watch it though.
You discovered it for yourself.
Oh,
Yeah.
also the best thing, well, not the best thing, but something that really made me giggle is that the buzzer in this sport is called the hooter.
Now I don't
The
want
lady
to
kept being like, oh, the hooter, there goes the hooter.
Wait, why?
I don't know.
just to keep it interesting. Just
Yeah,
to-
yeah.
I mean, unless it's just because this lady was British and that's what she calls a buzzer, but
The hooter.
she kept calling it a
There goes
hooter.
the
Went
hooter.
There goes
The
the hooter.
hooter went all.
Where'd I hear the hooter again? Oh, anyway, I loved it. Shout out to Team USA goal ball. I hope you win the gold.
Oh,
One-
And then
One-
also another sport that this sport I followed goalball much better, but I did watch lacrosse. I watched
Yeah.
finally, we were talking about how it was at the same time as the Olympics. And it really, I did not get to watch a lot. But I watched the last weekend. Julia, you watched like a little bit of like replays too, didn't you?
A little bit, yeah. Yeah, I watched some clips and
My
whatnot.
takeaway is I don't know what's happening, but it seems so fun.
Yeah, they're good. They're really good.
Yeah, it does seem fun. They have some silly face protection.
Oh,
They're
man.
weird little mask glasses.
The masks
that
are
look
so
like-
funny because
look
they
like
protect the
superheroes.
they protect the eyes and nothing else.
I think the cheekbones as well, because they kind of like come
Oh,
down in like a
okay.
point. But then like some of them, I'm like, is this the mask or no? Because some of the players then like paint like extra onto their face with like eye
Yes.
black to like look
Yeah.
intimidating, I guess. And it's really wild. Also during lacrosse, I learned that the Book of Unlimited is nearly 500 pages and weighs 25 pounds.
25
So I wrote that
pounds.
in my fact book.
Oh my gosh.
25 pounds.
They are really
is-
invested in the longevity of the league.
This is
for
what
them.
this is what I feel like about lacrosse is that like it I imagine it being so hard for the goalies because they have to like
Yeah.
catch it in their little sticks, right?
Yeah, but theirs is bigger. Theirs is like the size of a butterfly net.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
still they
yeah,
have to do
yeah.
it. But also I think that they just are good at doing that because like you watch them whip that ball back and forth between like even all the smaller lacrosse sticks and they seem
Yeah,
to
they know
not
what they're
have any
doing.
trouble. Like they know what they're doing. They're professionals. as
They
well
are
in their sport.
professional athletes, yeah, as we found out.
But it does just seem fun. And also, so there you can. What else did I learn about lacrosse? I did not know you could score more than 1 point, but you can depending on where you're standing on
From
the field.
farther away or something?
Yeah, I think farther away you can score 2 points. There's like a circle around the
Like
goal,
the 3
or
point.
like a arch. Yeah, and if you stand outside of it, it seems like someone scored 2 points when I was watching. Yeah, I really did not learn any of the rules because I watched like 1.5 games. But all
Rules
I know
come
is
later.
it seemed fun, and someone teach me how to play.
Teach me how to play. Teach me how to
Teach
play.
me how to play.
Teach me how to play.
Yeah, that is cool. So is lacrosse not an Olympic sport? Is that something that we know?
I don't know.
It can't have been if
Field hockey is. I notoriously, and by notoriously, just inside my own brain, so it's only notorious to me, get field hockey and lacrosse mixed up.
Yeah, no, I think
Lacrosse
that
is
makes
with
sense.
the
Field hockey's
net
got a
on the
little.
thing, and field hockey you could beat
Yeah,
the shit
little
out of someone with that.
I think they are similar. Well, back to sort of related, but back to Olympics. Like, one thing I love about the Paralympics and is that like athletes will compete in like multiple sports. Like, there's a one maybe not in the same Olympics, but there's this one girl. Now I don't remember her name, but there's one woman competes in both the summer and winter Olympics in different sports, which
I saw that. Was it
so
Oksana
cool.
Masters? I'm not sure if it was her.
Wait, say the name.
Oksana Masters.
I don't think so. I can find it.
I do. There was someone, but I don't know if it was her or not. But yeah, one of the goalball players used to do discus, I guess, because she did like a spin move, and they're like, she used to throw the discus, and I was like, oh. I
can
didn't know I
imagine-
own a discus, but have never thrown it.
I think it's Kendall Gretsch. That could be wrong. Sorry if it's not.
Sorry,
Kendall.
Kay Gretsch.
Sorry. And then one of the things I wanted to shout out about the Paralympics is the first Afghan woman to compete in the Paralympics competed in Taekwondo, and this was like obviously, you know, kind of wild considering everything that's happening in Afghanistan right now. There were she, and then there's another guy that were supposed to go and compete in Tokyo, and then of course when Kabul got taken over by the Taliban, they were like, no, you can't go. So they thought they weren't going, and so the female athlete's name is Zakia Kudadadi. And she put something out online that was like, look, I'm a Paralympic athlete and I'm currently in Kabul, and like, if there's any way like you can help or whatever. And she got evacuated. Something tells me, I think I read something that like France helped, but I also don't want to give credit where credit's not due. But either way, like they amazingly like got to Tokyo and were evacuated from Kabul, and they're like getting to compete. Now they did miss the ceremony, the opening ceremony, but like it just
Imagine
sort of like
that's
blew my mind.
imagine that's happening in your country, and then
Yeah.
you have to go and
like compete.
Totally.
Yeah,
That's
imagine your
crazy.
mindset. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh,
Did you guys?
Yeah.
Sorry,
No,
just on
go
that
for it.
note, like, did you guys read about how Australia helped get like some of Afghanistan's senior women's national soccer team out of the
Yeah,
country?
I saw that the soccer team got out.
Yeah, but can you dive into it real quick?
I read a whole article about it, but basically, like, they were, I mean, I honestly don't know really. I don't remember how exactly, but they were using like WhatsApp to communicate with the athletes and there were like various points, like checkpoints that they were like, if they don't get through in the next 4 minutes, they will not make the plane to get out of here, and they will not make it. So it was just like, I'm like getting goosebumps because it was so like, it was just so wild, like, that they were able to get some of those athletes out. And there are still,
Because they've been like huge
so many
proponents
people.
for like feminism in Afghanistan, right? And like women in sport and stuff like that. And so like if they
would have been targets
need to get out, or they'd be targets. Yeah.
You're talking about their team?
The soccer
Yeah.
team, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and then there's the Danish Afghan player who plays on
Nadia
Louisville?
Nadim.
Yeah,
Nadia
Nadia
Nadim.
Nadim. Is she
Yeah.
on Louisville?
Yes.
So somebody
She
else kind of
herself
take
was
from
a
here, but
refugee.
exactly.
When she was a child, I think her father was like murdered by the Taliban, and her family fled to Denmark.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Just
she
like-
really was talking about like she had an article in the Players Tribune basically about, it's from a couple years ago, I think, but just like her experience, and was kind of like, we need to like get these like players out of there, you know, that sort of thing. It's just, yeah. I mean, obviously I'm not like the expert on anything that's been going on. I just, you know, have read what I've read, and it's just like,
absolutely devastating. And there's also like a lot of different places you can donate. I think Nadia Nadim like has, she might have like an organization or have some sort of like foundation or something where you can support, and we will make sure we like link to that and do whatever. Again, yes, we are not experts, but just trying to like point out the sheer like gravity of the situation, and how like, you know, how wild it is for these athletes to be like proponents of feminism in a place where like in like a matter of like days or hours, everything switches for them and whatever. So,
and I think like we've talked about this a little bit before, but you know, in like obviously a lot earlier than now in like time, like governments would restrict women's access to sports because they saw it as like a way for women to kind of gain more equal footing with men in society. Like we talked about, I think in the episode where Ben was on, we talked about the fact that the English Football Association, the FA, banned women from playing the sport for that very reason. For years and years, till like the 70s or 80s, when they restricted the ban and women were allowed to play soccer. So it's just, I don't want to make it seem like sports are like, you know, changing the world or whatever, but there is something so powerful in the symbolism of sports and how sports can like unite people and get people to see like, oh, like maybe we aren't as, you know, different as we thought we were or whatever. And I think that scares people who want to keep women like in their place, or, you know, have a society that's structured in a way where men are, you know, have more power than women. So
yeah,
you can see why that soccer team specifically was like a symbol for people, and why they would be targeted. So yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, it's a great point. For a lot of women, like just being an athlete is a statement and a form of activism and and feminism. And like, we shouldn't take that for granted just because like we grew up in a time and place where, you know, it was celebrated and like accessible for most.
Paralympic update. Kendall Gretsch is a triathlete and a cross-country skier and participates in biathlon. And also, Oksana Masters is a rower and a cross-country skier. So it's both of them.
Wow.
Cool. Wow.
Sorry, I was Googling during you.
No,
speaking,
that's okay.
And then I could not
I'm glad you came in with the info because it was getting a little heavy, and you know how places light and tight.
We don't do that. We don't do that here.
We don't do
thank
that.
you.
Thank you.
And we gave credit where credit is due. Kendall Gretsch and Oksana Master.
Yeah. Shouts to all the Paralympians out there. We watching and we proud.
We watching. Yeah, so cool. And everybody should be watching, even if it's just the highlights. Because again, it is like at a time that's not convenient, it being in Tokyo.
And in the winter, again, it will be at a time that's not convenient.
Where are the Winter Games?
Beijing, I think.
Oh, I was gonna say, weren't the Olympics just in Beijing? No,
I know.
that was 2008 in the summer.
No, I
That
really
was-
do feel like every
It does feel
Olympics
like it
is
just
Beijing.
happened. It does, yeah. Well, I guess they have the facilities prepared.
Yeah.
True,
That's fair.
So,
true.
I look forward to when they're in LA, and then if anything, it's just like they're at the time of day that I'm awake, like
Yeah.
just a
They're
little
not
bit
in the middle of
later.
the night. Yeah.
Well, they still like they're like not they don't start super early because they're 3 hours.
Yes.
3 hours ahead,
Uh-huh.
but
Uh-huh.
you know,
Yeah.
this is what I like. Give me a good West Coast Olympics.
Totally.
Sweet.
Oh, you guys.
We
Was
did
there
it.
anything
We
else
did
you guys
it.
wanted to cover?
The US Open's happening. I don't have
Oh,
much to say about
yeah.
it. Sloane Stevens beat Coco Gauff yesterday in an
Yep.
exciting match. She took her right out, but they would not stop showing the coverage of the New York City rain.
Yeah.
There was one, I don't know who was playing at another court, and it was raining sideways, so they had to like postpone the match even though the roof was on because like the rain was getting on the court. Like people had their umbrella, like there was a roof, but people had their umbrellas out.
Oh,
Wait.
wow.
Funny.
Was the sides not a thing?
Yeah, the side it didn't have sides. It's like open air, but like they have a like a retractable roof on those stadiums, and so they had the roof closed, but it was raining sideways, so they still couldn't play.
Wow.
But Coco and Sloane, theirs had sides, so they were not interrupted. It was very loud. It might have been distracting to them because you could hear the rain. It's probably like a metal roof. You could hear the rain pouring on
Yeah.
it, or like
Sounds
I don't know,
like
like a tarp.
applause, honestly.
I don't know.
Sounds like
Yeah.
a crowd. Sounds like a full house.
They were buzzing.
Wait, is Sloane, this is dumb. Is Sloane Stevens, is she American?
She is American, yes.
Okay.
She's 28 years old. I learned from Google yesterday.
Okay, cool.
But I have watched her in a couple of different tournaments. And she came out, and Coco was
She's
the
good.
favorite in this, and
And
she
she's
really
good.
took her right out. So go Sloane. But
Go
also,
Sloane.
yay, Coco. I like you too.
I love
Yes, we love them all.
Uh,
And rooting for Naomi got past the
Yeah.
first round a little
Always.
bit.
Naomi. Unfortunately, both Williams sisters had to drop out with
Yeah.
injuries, but hopefully we'll see them back
Look,
in the future.
Honestly,
to-
anything they can give us at this point, we'll be happy with. If they play tennis just in their backyard, we're gonna be happy. I don't give a crap if they have to. I mean,
just
I'm
hitting the
sad
tennis
when
ball
they do.
against their wall,
But look, we got no
If
we
it's
got no
just-
right.
Yeah.
against the garage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So hopefully they'll be back soon.
Cool.
That's all
And
I have.
I'm a
for
little
tennis.
bit excited for that movie, right? Is that gonna be good?
Yeah.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Is that out yet?
Is it? It's with
It's not
Smith?
out yet,
It's
Will
not out
Smith?
yet,
Yeah.
It's a
Um,
movie about Serena and Venus's father and like his, quest
Is-
to get them.
Is it
I
like
saw them,
supported
too.
by them? Is it like they are
She
excited
did
about this?
she did post the
Okay.
trailer of it, so
Okay,
I
so
assume-
probably they're involved. I like when they do like biopics, but then like the person's not involved, and then it's like they're
Yeah.
like, "Don't watch this." But I think this one looks like it's gonna be good.
Do you think it's so weird though if you were like somebody who's alive and then a biopic comes out about you?
Yes, I do think. That
Like, do you watch
it?
it?
I feel like
Probably.
like technically this one's about their dad, but I mean,
Yeah, true.
They are in it as children.
they're
Well, I guess
yeah.
Space Jam was a biopic and Michael Jordan was like in it, so. Oh,
It was
man.
The
definitely
LeBron
a
one was not a
biopic.
biopic though. That one
What?
was the LeBron one was not.
Oh,
not a
yeah, yeah.
biopic,
No,
but
no,
the
no.
Michael Jordan
No.
one was.
No, he played Michael Jordan.
It was a remake. It was
Yeah, exactly. Oh, I
it was
still
like A
haven't seen
Star
it.
Is Born, but
Right, right.
But Space Jam.
I hope they do that. I hope they start doing that with Space Jam.
Oh
Just to
my
like
God,
every couple of
yes!
decades, a new basketball player just does the original Space Jam,
They will. They totally will.
but like with a twist.
I love this so much.
Who do I pitch this to?
Space Jam
they're
at
listening.
HQ.com.
They're listening. Space Jam's listening. I'll call the athletic front desk and pitch it. To them.
Yeah. Talk to Meg, see what's up.
They are
How
our
do
new
we do A
go-to.
Star Is Born, but with Space Jam?
Oh, is that your chair? Yeah.
Yeah, I'm
it was your
sorry, it's
chair.
Oh my
pretty
god, I thought a
creepy.
door
Oh, that's fine.
opened.
It's so funny.
Want me to do it again?
That's what it sounds like when
my
I
microphone
can't.
cuts it out.
That's
when
what
you
it
can't
sounds
burp?
like when I can't burp. Yeah.
Oh. No, it's just my creaky chair. It's pretty old. It's from college.
Aw, cute. Okay, well, everybody, we'll sign off here. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. And wow, my mood really turned around. I'll be throwing away this green screen post haste, and take care.
Bye.
She's good.
This has been a production of Planet Amp Podcast, powered by Pinecast.